Okay, says we're live. Hello, welcome. Happy Friday. It is Friday. It is yet another fun Friday, hopefully. Hopefully we'll get a lot done, but hopefully we'll also have a bit of fun today. And also fun in the weekend. I've got two of my pale yellow stickies, which you can't really see. I guess I'm gonna have to stop using that color. I don't know. Anyway, it's there. And then one of the blue. I still have not done more of the orangey yellow. That's my second novella, which I'm not working on at the moment. But I have my long project and my first novella started. So, yay, we're doing good. Kara says, can I just go off about the fact that we have to censor common words? Oh yeah, you're talking about my description, yeah. So as not to upset YouTube's delicate sensibilities. Yeah, make sure I throw things. Yeah, well, I mean, yes, yeah, it is definitely it's changing. This kind of censorship changes how things are phrased and how the words people use. How they say them, pronounce them, spell them, etc. So but that has been an ongoing process. Yes, you will see in the description as well as in the poll. I put an asterisk in the word murders, even though it's supposed to replace the letter. I just did it as sort of like a break up the word situation to keep it from getting suppressed. I have not seen any indication that my videos have been impacted by that kind of thing, but I have heard tell it happening on larger channels, so I don't know. Don't know. Today's Therapets card is the Phoenix, who says, you will rise above the ashes. You will find a way to become whole again. Lovely. And then today's Wake Up Kick-Ass Repeat card says, buy the ticket, take the ride. That one, the one that was stuck in the box, says, hold your head up. Excellent. I like both of those. Monique did a 3-card pull from the Buffy Tarot deck. The cards are the Two of Swords, okay. Justice and the Seven of Swords. Interesting, okay. Two of Swords is always balance. Swords is communication. Justice, again, is sort of like a balance of like weighing one way or another. And then the Seven of Swords. What is the Seven of Swords again? Swords is always communications. It's generally a card of like harsh truths or harsh situations. Generally. Nope. It's not the right keyword. There we go. There we go. Okay. And swords. 7. Seven of Swords. Upright is a card of theft, sabotage, defeat, sneak attacks, specifically with spies or unreliable friends. Plagiarism, it's a card that indicates a need to be on guard against theft, traitors, spies, and subterfuge. Ooh, okay, interesting. So you have the idea of a theft or stealing, and then you have the card of justice, and then you have the card of balance. So there might be someone that you or your characters are wary of, but you don't want to be too far paranoid. But you also don't want to let an injustice happen. So There you go. Stacy says good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Yesterday, Monique worked on a profile for a possible recurring supporting character. Ooh. Monique says, since my novel isn't told in first person anymore, you were contemplating adding scenes where your characters are in therapy. Would they, how is that going to, when you have these scenes, are they adding to your character development? Are they adding to the plot? Why specifically do you want to add the therapy, and what are your characters and what is the plot going to gain from it? Lynn says, hello. Good morning. Pen name Alessa Winters. Nice. I like the pen name. You're joining while at work and we'll be revising a co-writing project. Nice. Hopefully you can get a good bit of revision done today then. Kara says today's enchanted map card is listening. It's number 53. That's from this deck. Number 53. An open heart will hear the message. There you go. Monique says, I'm noticing some basic words are getting censored overall, such as names of political parties and politicians. Yeah. Well, that's there are some people that may have, you can go into your settings and you can make certain words banned. So there may be people who don't want to hear from the other party or hear about them at all. And so there may be people that have gone in and put those words under their banned word section, in which case they're trying to prevent getting fed the political shenanigans. And so that's probably people's way of getting around that banning. But yeah. Monique says to Kara, I definitely needed the Phoenix card. Kara says, me too. Dealing with things like my mother's life insurance policies is taking the wind out of your sails. It's forcing you to acknowledge that she's really gone. Yeah. That should be wind out of your sails. You're not selling anything. I understood what you meant, though. So, therapy scenes, you want them to add to show your characters are developing. Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the document that I'm going to be working on during the session. And I'm going to minimize the others. Oh, right. I need to do the poll for today, and we need to do the doggo and the card. We need to do a lot of things, y'all. We need to do a lot of things. Okay, so today's poll is about the conflict that you personally prefer to read. Because a lot of the questions that we do is typically about the main character, but which conflict would you prefer to read? So, rivals to lovers, assassinations and political shenanigans, whodunit murders, or something else, other. I put some suggestions of like Space Invaders or Man versus Nature, but it could be anything. So, which conflict do you prefer to read? So, that is the question for the day. The doggo for yesterday was a very big fluffy doggo. His name is Mulan. He's executing the subtlest of purple tongue blips. And just so you remembered that time that you only pretended to throw his ball. So he's giving you a little bit of a side eye with his purple tongue. So there you go, Mulan. He looks very fluffy. Looks like a mane. And then today we have either Basil or Basil, depending on how you pronounce it. He kept growing, but his ears did not get the memo. So we have a puppy and a older picture of Basil or Basil. And I wish that it would focus so that you could see the cute doggos. There we go. Maybe a little bit better. So we have puppy and older picture of Basil. And then we have Fluffy Moulin. Very cute. Kara thinks you're going to work on poetry today. Nice. And Monique says you're going to write out the therapy scene. Okay. All right. And today we have the stag, and it is in the inverted position. The stag is the one that is the cover image for the animal deck. So stag is number 58. Okay, this is one that I've apparently gotten before in the inverted position because I have some underlined messages, but take the lead is the main message of the stag. Others may not be as far along the journey as you are. When the stag appears in the protection position, the inverted, you are called to be compassionate and patient as you find yourself leading the way. When others struggle to follow you, they may be unsure that you can be trusted, challenging you to be kind and strong, challenging your value and questioning your worth. Know that the Spirit has put you in this place at this time for a purpose and will not abandon you when you need help with your new responsibilities. Or perhaps you are already uncomfortable leading, maybe temporarily trapped by your small self and are therefore promoting yourself too strongly, afraid that others might see weakness or imperfection in yourself. Let go of your fears and let the stag remind you that you have what it takes to lead wisely and ethically if you practice self-honesty and listen to others who wish to support you. So there you go. For a lot of us, that imposter syndrome is a real hindrance when we are put in a position where we can or should be guiding others, and we sort of we feel small, like who am I to lead, give advice or whatever. So it's very difficult to shift into that leadership position sometimes when we ourselves are afflicted by imposter syndrome or lack of self-confidence. So be aware that sometimes that makes us feel smaller than we are or feel less capable than we truly are. And just remind yourself that you've got this. So there you go. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I need to pull up the timer. And let's see. Let's start with the hedgehog. Clicky, clicky, click. Sorry. All right, let's do this. 1, save your document, especially if you've already been working. If not, again, now's a great time to pull up whatever documents you think you're going to be working on. 2 is make sure you have something to hydrate with and take a sip. Cheers. 3 is to straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. And 4 is make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. How do we do? I got 684 in this scene. So that's a good start. I will absolutely take that. It took me a little bit to sort of like ease into it, but that's okay. 684 is not a bad starting point for sure. Save it. Mark where I'm leaving off. Okay. How'd you do? Did we do good? Lexi joined us. Hello. Excellent. Good, good. Weaver Words also joined us. Hello. Just grabbing a coffee, and then you're going to join us for some sprinting. Cassie, hello. Welcome. It's been a minute. I hope everybody's well. Thank you for that. I hope you are as well. I asked what you were up to. Anything new? Not new for this quarter, but it's been a minute since we've talked. You're currently working on a fantasy dystopia. Love it. Monique is describing, I think this is Friar's, Friar Keon's office. It's located in the fictional young adult campus ministry office in the city proper. Lexi got 2,149. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Weaver says you're trying, but your brain isn't braining. You're rereading sentences and thinking, who the heck wrote this? Clearly someone who never went to school. Yeah, I have those days. And then occasionally I have those magical days where I look back into it and I'm like, wow, this is great. Sometimes it just, it takes a couple of revisions and then some time to get to that point. But yeah, usually after I do like a zero draft, first draft, I'm like, oh, this is so rough. So rough, but it's okay. Sometimes that's what we have to do as a part of the process to get it to be where we want it to be. Stacy did not write. The new chapter of a story that you're reading came in. Ooh, so you're reading that. Then while you were sitting with that, you worked on cleaning your desk some. It needs some work, but progress. Excellent. Yeah. Okay. So full transparency. I definitely have way too many things in front of me. I have a chip clip. Because that needs to go back to the kitchen, but anyway, whatever. And then I have an entire fistful of writing implements. Some of them were like the blue pen was what I used last month, so I don't necessarily need that at the moment. The pencil should go back in the pencil section. The graphic liner should go back in the box. And I just always have way too many writing implements. Like I grab one and then I'm grab a different one and then I grab another one and I can't ever seem to stop. Anyway, so I feel you. We're not even going to talk about the state of my pen caddy because there are multiple over to the right of my monitor. We're not going to talk about that because it's also a mess and needs to be reorganized again. So I feel you with the cleaning the desk. It needs quite a bit of work for me, but progress, right? Yeah. I mean, even just then, I just cut it down to 4, which is still too many, but whatever. It's fine. Next sprite, you want to write. Yes, you think you need 300 to hit your daily goal. Extra nice. Yes. Love it. Yes, fellow pen collector. Yeah. Well, so those are the pens that I have out that I reach for often. And I have a bucket in the front that is my black pens. Specifically my black pens that I reach for all the time. So I have Sakura microns in there. I have have Pilot Precise. I have my weighty ballpoint. I have, I have multiple iterations of just like black pen. And so, and then I have my dot markers, and then I have my flares, and then I have my ink joys, and then I have my zebra liners, then I have my tombos, and I just like, and then I have my metallics, and it's just like, it just takes over. And I have a section that is behind my pencil cup, which is also like my pencils and cutting implements. That is just my white gel pens for when I F up. For when I F up and I don't want to use whiteout. Because you can never have too many options. I may have a problem. I may have a problem. Weaver says, if we can't see it, it's not there. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Oh, no, you were just working on your desktop. Okay, cleaning your desktop. Also, yeah, not the drawer unit next to me. You just wanted space on the desk itself. Yeah. Yeah. One section at a time. One section at a time. I hate to think of what Marie Kondo would do to a writer's pen collection. I don't know, how she would work with somebody like us who has way more pens than but we love them. They bring us joy. We use them. So my guess is she would just have to like figure out a way to contain them. Yeah. Which, I mean, they are mostly contained. Mostly. At least that section of the room, anyway. Monique wrote 192 new words for the therapy scenes. Excellent. Just one scene. Gotcha. Maybe she would help us throw out the ones that don't write anymore because the ink dried up or was used. Maybe, but I did that, I want to say 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I went through every single pen I had and threw out the super dry ones. With the exception of like a Tombow or two, where I was like, I'm pretty sure I can use this like once or twice more. Sad existence of the Tombows that I refuse to let die. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, they work. So, but I think I remember reading a section in her book about if you are of a profession that deals with those items, she sees the point in you keeping more of that around. It's just she personally didn't see the point in having more than like 12 books around the house unless you were in a related field. I was like, yeah, we're in a related field. There's no way that I could ever fathom not having books on hand or pens on hand. So, yeah. Anyway, it's just my excuse to continue being a hoarder of pens and books because, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and do another sprinty sprint. And pop this up. Don't forget, second sprint is the self-promo sprint. So if you have something that you want to promote, now is a wonderful time to do so. Just don't forget that if you do not have a Blue Ridge Power, you will not be able to post direct links. So there you go. All right. 1, save your document. 2, take a sip. Cheers. Three, straighten your spine, rolling your shoulder on the for the posture check. And 4 is make sure if you need a break, take a break. Here we go, 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I think I just finished a chapter. Yeah. Let's figure out what I did math-wise. Okay, got 1,000. Excellent. Fantastic. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay, great. How'd you do? Also, don't forget to do your self-promo in the chat. Kara says, I don't think I've shared the link to the Beltane anthology yet. Here it is. Here's the link for the Beltane anthology cover reveal post that Kara did. Monique was looking for ways to write a therapy scene without things coming off as repetitive. I suggested mentioning small talk or the usual questions, and sort of like brushing past that portion of the therapy session until you like get to whatever it is you want to have happen. Or you could have the characters dissociating and sort of just like very much tuning things out. So yeah, you could probably just summarize what Jane said that related to past incidences. Is a note for later editing, but you also need to figure out how much you can foreshadow what Jane's incident was. One hint you tried dropping was that she was scared to go to a mall. Okay. Her incident was a vampire attacked her while she was at the mall with her sister. Okay. Would there be like stores that she couldn't go in anymore, or brands that she couldn't wear, certain pieces of music that might have been playing, or smells from the food court? Would there be any of that kind of stuff? Total word count for the therapy scenes thus far, 463. Nice. Fantastic. Stacy got about 250 words. Yay! And Monster walked into the door. Like walked into the door or walked through the door, because I have literally walked into doors before. I've also walked into the metal pylons, like the covered walkways at school where they have the metal pylon. Yeah, I've walked like smack into those because I wouldn't pay attention to where I was walking. So yeah, that one was before I got glasses, but still. Weaver says, wow, where did that sprint go? You feel like you've just time traveled. Oh no. Yeah. Sometimes the sprints do that. And that one did feel like a very good sprint to me, and I got over 1,000 words, so I liked it. It was great. It was good. Fantastic. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh no, where did it go? But still, I would much rather feel that, oh no, where did it go feeling than like, oh, the sprint is taking forever. Because that usually means that my brain is not engaged in the activity, whether it's writing, drafting, editing, whatever. Lexi got 2,097 done. Amazing. Lynn edited half a chapter. Nice. Excellent. Yeah, you tried hinting that she didn't want to go to the food court as an example, but you don't think it felt like foreshadowing. Well, foreshadowing is things that will happen soon. What you're doing is you are sort of like referencing hints at what happened in the past. So that's probably the reason it doesn't feel like foreshadowing. So So that's probably why it feels a little funky. But yeah. So I would think hints is a good one. Kara says, I've walked into walls and support posts as well. Yay! I'm not the only one. Yay! Good catch. She walked through the door. Way. Exactly. Lynn says, how do you do self-promo in your chat? So unless you have a wrench like Kara or is Kara the only one who has a wrench at the moment? Stacy needs a wrench. Unless you have a wrench, you cannot post direct links. YouTube doesn't allow that. But you can tell us, like, you've told us in your username that your pen name is Alessa Winters. So what's the title of your book? Is it on Amazon? Is it on Kindle? Is it, that kind of stuff. You could also put like extra spaces in things or extra periods. But yeah, so it's a little weird. The easiest thing is probably just to say, oh, here it's on Amazon. What's the book title? And username, and I will try to find the link for it. Sorry for you. So, Stacy says, I used to regularly walk into tables. For some reason, you've not noticed yourself doing that as often anymore. Oh, there you go. But then again, you were very much a homebody. Kara says, I wrote a haibun and then contacted the artist to get another picture for your family-friendly rhyming story. You wrote it back in 2021. Getting the artwork coordinated takes a while. Nice. What is a haibun? Is it a hybrid of a haiku and something else? I don't think I've heard of a haibun. The Girl Who Brings the Dead. Ooh, book 1 of 6. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm going to link your. I'm gonna link your. Find it. Your author page. Okay, let me know if that does not work. Should work. Very nice. So you have a series that we could buy. Very nice. Multiple series. Looks like maybe. Okay, so I will definitely check that out, and I will have it marked so I can go back to it after the stream too. You slam your toes into things all the time. Yeah, thankfully this room setup, I don't have the issue that I had in our last house. I bent both of my pinky toenails like back, so I had to spend like 6 months hobbling around. I'm pretty sure I had a fracture on both of them. Thankfully I didn't do it at the same time, but it was like right after my foot felt finally normal again after 6 months. I did the other one. So yeah, so I've walked into walls. The little plate here for the door knob, that flat flange, is that the right word? It's longer than standard, so it's meant for like a deep door. Anyway, it's a whole story with like the DIY guy who contracted whatever. Anyway, it's far longer than is reasonable for that door depth. I have walked by it and my pocket has caught that, and I have ripped it out of the door jamb, and then had to go and find new screws and like patch it up and everything. Anyway, so yeah, and I also got like a big scrape on my side. But yeah, so I've yanked that out of the wall. I've run into pillars at the school. Yeah, I've done everything, feels like. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. We're always glad to have more to read. Weaver says, I hate accidentally kicking the edge of a coffee table. Yeah. Yeah. Your wickle toes? is that what we call the little ones? I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard wickle. Your little toes cry, and so do I. Yes. Yes, yes. Haiban is a Japanese-inspired prose poem. Oh, starts with prose and ends with a haiku. Interesting. Okay, it's a bit of a contentious form. People have various rules for it. Yes, because people love making rules for new types of poetry. Yes. Stacy says, I catch my toe on the bed frequently, especially at night. Yes. Many years ago, you slammed your big toe into the edge of a fireplace so hard that it turned black and fell off. It did not grow back. The you're like, you grew back a toe. I'm very impressed. Yeah, I think I have lost the toenail on my right big toe. The other one I probably almost lost, but didn't, and it's still like it grew out wonky. But both of those were from moving student desks around the room. If you didn't know, I used to be a teacher. And I put one down on my toe multiple times. Like, just, but, some of them were heavier than others, or some of them, like, when I put them down, I, like, leaned. So put more body weight onto it. So yeah, no, it's just, so both of my toenails are probably victims of student desks, and my little pinky toes are victims of my corner of my bedpost, and just the nail. You have yet to manifest starfish-like abilities to regrow limbs, right? Yeah, yeah. We wish we had the power of self-regeneration that would make hair growth great, nail growth great. And yeah, if we ever had to lop off a limb for whatever reason, it would make growing that back much more easy and nice. So yeah, I wish we had healing regenerative powers like that, right? Okay, let's go ahead and do another sprinty sprint and get one more nice big chunk of work done. Let's do the bear hug, because they're cute and adorable, and I just love them. Also, we had talked about doing a goose timer, or maybe somebody mentioned a goose timer, and I was like, ooh, that would be really cute. I'm sure I can find a sound to go with it. I thought that YouTube, the sound library, would have a goose honk that would sound nice as a timer. They do not. And Pixabay has some goose sounds, but they are not very nice. So I'm still searching for a nice end of timer goose sound. And it may not happen. We shall see. Just an update on new potential timers there. Okay, so 1, save your document. 2, so he says, I'm surprised my dog didn't look up that's his name, Goose. He's lying in my office. Hi, Goose. Anyway, 1 is save. 2, cheers, sip. 3, straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back for that posture check. And 4 is, if you need a break, take a break. Here we go. 30 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. How did we do? How did we do? Great. I got another 1,000. Fantastic. Fantastic. If I work a little bit harder today, a little bit more, in some evening sprints, I'll hit 10K in this project. Should be great. It'd be great. But I don't know if I'll do that or if I'll do it till Saturday or Sunday, so we'll see. You would say that you could send a picture of your dog Goose, but you don't think many people would get it. You taught your youngest that the Canadian geese are your dog Goose's cousins. Oh, that's cute. Kara says the hissing noise that the geese make. Your son and you walked too close to where a female Canadian goose had her nest. We backed away slowly. Yeah, they are kind of terrifying. You also did that with your nephew when he was like 2, picked him up and had to back away off of a bridge. You were not messing with the papa or mama goose. Yeah, they are something else. Lynn got about 5 pages edited. Fantastic. Weaver says I only got a couple of pages left to do. Nice. Excellent. Lexi got 2,076 done. Nice. Stacey got 538 this stream. Yay! Which means you got your daily total because, or your daily goal, because your goal was about 300. So you did more than your goal. Yay! Excellent. Good. Your son and you were both adults when you had your near run-in with Detective Mother Goose. Yeah. Goose can be scary. Geese are even more scary. I think I realized sort of like just how, when I first heard that swans, because swans are a little bit bigger than geese, but that a full-grown swan can break a person's leg with a wing flap. I was like, oh, okay, that changes the dynamics of things. And Canadian geese are really like not that much smaller. I mean, they're a little smaller, but they're also a lot meaner, I feel like, than most of the swans you see. But again, I have not been near that many swans, so I do not know about swan temperament. But I do know that goose temperament is not super gentle. So Kara says, I spent the last sprint sending information to cash out a small life insurance policy your mother took out for you. It will help pay down your credit card debt, which would be very nice. A human can break a goose bone with a strong enough slap too. True. I mean, it probably goes both ways. Because bird bones tend to be hollower because of like lightweight stuff. But anyway, Eva says, hey, hello, welcome. Well, welcome. Yes, swans are jerks. Okay, so here we have testament on swanitude. When your son was a child, we used to feed the waterfowl at the nearby cemetery. The swans pecked at the other birds when they tried to get their share. Gotcha. Hate seagulls. They will steal your food. They will. They absolutely will. Yeah. All right, y'all. Don't forget to save. And we also need to end the poll. So, in terms of what conflict are you most interested or more would you prefer to read in your stories? Where's the, here it is. Okay. What conflict would you prefer to read? Rivals to lovers, by far, with 50% of the answers, followed by other. Anything could run the gamut. Space Invaders, Man versus Nature, who knows? 14% Whodunnit Mysteries, and Assassination and Political Moves, 7% as the least preferred read. Weaver says, I don't know why, but I hate heavily political plots. You find them boring. Well, it's also because a lot of us tend to read for escapism, and some of what we're trying to escape is political shenanigans. So we don't necessarily want to continue to read about them in our escapist stories. So there's that. You have parking lot goals. Ooh. Yeah, yeah. I am firmly in the escapist reader camp. So generally, I like a little bit of, especially if I'm doing like a high-powered fantasy, like there's gonna be some political shenanigans, because generally there's like unexplored territory, fights for resources, and all that kind of stuff, and that gets into politics. So, power plays essentially. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you have a lovely weekend. I will see y'all hopefully soon. Also, the 6th last year was when we saw our first hummingbird. So I'm going to have to set up our first hummingbird feeder stations for the year. You like big topics that are often controversial and can lead to political discussions, but you don't know if you like political plots. Yes. Yes, I like that. The way that you expressed it. Yes. All right. Don't forget to save. Don't forget to sip. And have a lovely day. Bye.